Hello everyone, welcome back to Bloodworth Zelda Diaries. Getting into my adventures, rolling around Hyrule, getting distracted from my distractions. That's essentially where we're at today. So last time we were talking about me exploring the castle. I still haven't finished exploring because I was exploring and then I saw a shooting star and I went over to Lookout Landing to try to get the shooting star and then the shooting star disappeared. I'm like, what the heck is up with that? It was right there. I turned the camera and then it was gone. I don't know. So like I said last time, going to Lookout Landing gets me distracted, gets me on other threads, and then similarly, I went back up to the sky, to the mine where they process the zonite in the furnace, because I haven't found another place where they do that. I'm just trying to get those like crystallized charges to expand the batteries. I popped down, and I recognize it like, oh, okay, there's the Great Plateau is over there. I haven't been on the Great Plateau yet. Let's go back to the old stomping grounds. I want to see the Temple of Time and see if there's anything different there. And I get over there, and I get to the Temple of Time, and the giant Hylia statue is like, it was like another voice. It was like, come find me in the water behind the Iron Gate or something like that. And I'm like, okay, let me see if I can figure out what that's talking about. It wasn't actually that hard to find. It was kind of the gate that's supposed to lead up to the Great Plateau, but it was like blocked off from like a landslide or whatever. But you could like smash the boulder. So I bombed open that, and then the water flowed out, which was fantastic. And then there was this, statue there that looked like the Poe statue from Lookout Landing. And then it's like, go back to the Hylia statue. I'm like, okay, I'll go back to the Hylia statue. And then I go, and on my way there, I come across an armored black bokoblin. Hadn't seen armor before, did not put two and two together as to what to do with that. Got one shot killed. Anyways, so being careful. Great Plateau is full of tough enemies. Get up there, and there's basically this other voice speaking through the Hylia statue, and it unlocks this other side quest about doing something in the depths under the Great Plateau. And so I go and I do one of those things and toss, there's like these stone eyeball things you're supposed to find. You toss them down the chasms, and then you're supposed to go do something within the chasms. I haven't finished the side quest yet because I'm still getting distracted from my distractions. So it's distracted this, and then distracted there, and then distracted again, and there we go. And so I went, instead, there was like, oh yeah, there was like a Korok, I didn't record this bit, but it was like a Korok thing, and then I was right by the Shrine of Resurrection. I'm like, I wanted to check that out too. I want to go see the Shrine of Resurrection, what it looks like here. And it was like a little weird because it just felt like, it said Shrine of Resurrection, but it was just like a cave, and there was like a hot spring. But then I get down there, and there's like a Yiga hideout under where the Shrine of Resurrection was. They've got all this stuff, and they've got like one of the constructs there, but the construct is like, oh, I can't give you what I've got yet. You've got to go down to the grand, some grand abandoned mine or something like that. I forget what he said. Yeah, I think Great Abandoned Mine to receive it. And I'm like, okay, there's some great abandoned mine down there to go find. So that's the first time I've run into something like that, to where it's like, yeah, you can't do this because you don't have this other item yet. So that's kind of interesting. I also got over. I've been messing around a little bit with like the mine cart on the shield surfing, skateboarding kind of thing. Shield surfing was always a fun thing to do, so it's just nice that like the carts can be used for that as well. Like I said, I was out there, I was getting distracted, I was doing all kinds of stuff, did some shrines, did some towers, took care of some stuff out in the sky, fought another one of those big crazy guardian things, and I was just checking out all kinds of craziness, back and forth all over the place. But I eventually did get back to that quest. That was on the Great Plateau, because I wanted to complete the story. I knew there was something there. I knew there was something going on there. And so I went around and I did the thing where you're tossing the statue's eyes down in the chasm. So I'm like going through there. On In the midst of that, I came across this Yiga cabin, which I kind of like took a long time to defeat these two Yiga because I was kept trying to snap their photos every attempt. They ambush you. You're in a very tight space. Oh, let's take photos. This is a good spot to take photos of these guys. Anyways, I'm obsessed with the photos. And then, yeah, get the third eyeball down. Get the fourth eyeball down. Froze some meat along the way because I was up in the snow on the Great Plateau. That was fun. And then up there from the snowy area, I did the fourth eye and I dropped it down and I followed it down. And then of course I'm back in the depths. Fourth-ish time I guess in the depths. Cool spot, and then I'm like, okay, I have to attach the eye, or put the eye in a minecart, and go through the dark. And this is so cool. It's just like full speed ahead in the dark on a minecart. The eye is like lighting up the way in front of me. It was very, very cool, and no joke, I think that the first one that I did was probably the most complex route to get through, but it was so cool because again it's just like, where the heck am I going? And I get to the end of the minecart and it's like the Great Abandoned Mine or whatever, and I'm like, this is the place the construct told me to go? Oh dang. So I'm like, now I'm like kind of killing two birds with one stone. And I've got to like figure out how to get the eye in there and everything. Find, get it up all of these platforms and stuff and get it up there. And then, so I go from the statue and I'm coming up these stairs and I'm kind of looking out as to where I'm going. And I realize I could like ascend up above me. And so I'm like, okay, what's on top of this place? And I come around and there are two researchers, quote unquote, talking to this construct, or talking around this construct thing, and they're clearly like Yiga in disguise or whatever. So you do this little exchange, and you get. I've been spoiled by this a little bit because of Nintendo tweeting out stuff. You get auto build. I essentially stumbled across auto build, the last power on the wheel, because I got distracted and went to check out the Great Plateau. Coolest freaking thing. And then what I love now is the lore behind the whole Yiga thing, because the guy that you drop down a hole in Breath of the Wild was down in the depths the whole time and discovered the Zonai devices and was messing around with them. And then you have this crazy boss fight with like a bulldozer. And like, what is happening? This is wild. This is wild. And it just goes to show like one little thing, one little distraction, one little side thread of things just opens stuff up. But yeah, and then once you've cleared them out, then the constructs are there and you can talk to a couple of them. There's a better furnace there with more stuff and able to upgrade batteries more easily now. That's super cool. Showing you how to use auto build with the glider and stuff, and then like riding that through the dark to get one of the other eyeballs. Super cool. Yeah, it was so freaking cool. And then I went back up to where the shrine of Awakening was, from Breath of the Wild, where I'd left that guy, and then I got a schema from him too for this ridiculous beam cycle, which like is clearly sort of supposed to look like the Master Cycle, which you get from there basically, right, from that spot in the Champions Ballad. But it's just like, Yeah, it's just like the scrub version of it. Just like these boards on the side or whatever, when the, like, and there's just constantly firing a laser beam out of the horn. Um, that was hilarious. Um, and then I went down. I actually went to the third eye. It was interesting because um, I was searching all around down there and I couldn't find it. And then I, I caved and did a quick Google search and just found that like sometimes they just respawn back above ground, even though your quest log says you threw it in. A little bit of a thing that could hopefully get fixed in a patch later on. But anyway, it's got the third one over on like a little car thing, and then the fourth one had this cool like another minecart section, but it was like there's like a jump. But the big car thing with the big wheels feels great down there. Just feels like you can just mow around, like yeah, roll around over anything, not have to worry about the gloom too much. A lot better suited for like all terrain than the little small wheels and all of that. But man, the ridiculous beam cycle. Useless beam. And then, yeah, once I'd returned all the eyes, I got a heart container, got some dark pants. But it was just a really, again, like another really cool adventure that just kind of popped up unexpectedly. So that's fun. That's good stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in and continuing to follow my adventures. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/easyallies. We are supported by our fans, by our viewers, and it makes all of this happen. And then the review is coming soon. I'm not sure exactly when this episode will be up, but the review is not far away. Brad has finished the game as of the time that I'm recording this part. So keep an eye out. Also, we talked about it on Frame Trap as well. So all of that, just say thank you, good night, and I'll see you next time.